Growth through love, a purpose-driven approach to business growth. Now, what we've found is that the most successful teams are not just trying to make a buck, but they're working with purpose. You see, mindset is the true lead domino to business growth. You need to work harder on yourself than you do on your business. And our ultimate goal for your business is what we call the growth through love team trifecta, right? Organized, results focused, and purpose driven. Now, that last one, purpose driven, that's what we're going to address in this video. So, in order to help you create what is arguably the most powerful mindset that exists, having a purpose driven mindset, we infused three things together. The first was an effective business operating system. The second was a simple technological interface, the actual software that you're interacting with. And third is a deeply enriching and inspiring philosophy, as well as the opportunity to be part of something bigger than yourself. And what do I mean by that? Well, what we've done is tie one of the largest issues in small business, overwhelm, to one of the largest issues in the world, our culture. Our mission is to be a driving force for cultural reform. Simply put, use business to make the world a more loving place. Now, at this point, you're probably thinking, this guy's crazy. Change the culture of the world? That's too big. Well, no one ever changed the world without first being crazy enough to believe they could. But seriously, this is a mission that is worth devoting our lives to, right? Leaving the world a more loving place for our children? What could be better than that? And we can do it. Let me show you how. Now, quick note, all this philosophy that I'm going to be talking to you today, it's all on our website, summarized on our philosophy page. So you can go and you can check it out later. Okay, we're going to start with Buckminster Fuller. So Buckminster Fuller said, you never change things by fighting the existing reality. To change something, build a new model that makes the existing model obsolete. And that's what we've done. So let's look at the current model, and then we're going to look at the new model. Our current business culture idolizes being a shark, winning at any cost. Money trumps morals. Winning is money, and money is the way to keep score. This expression sums it up best. It's only business, right? That's what you say when you completely screw someone over to make a buck, but it was legal. Heck, even if it wasn't legal, corporations put penalties, government fines, lawsuits for potential casualties into their pricing models, right? Kill people, destroy the planet, all good. As long as the numbers pencil out, let's do it. Right? The same people who are creating the violent music are profiting from our prison systems. The people putting poison in our food are profiting from our healthcare systems. The people making the guns are facilitating the wars. These cycles, they have to end. We behave as though laws should govern morality. Pythagoras was a Greek philosopher. He said, as soon as laws are necessary for men, they are no longer fit for freedom. Oh, right? With so many people trying to skirt the laws for selfish gain, now the red tape involved in trying to do business makes it literally almost impossible to get anything done. Our culture is failing. Now, let me define what that looks like. It starts when we compromise our values, screw someone over to make a buck, right? But one decision at a time, it slowly leads to the deterioration of character. Decision after decision, it starts to shape identity. It's no longer what you did, but it's who you are. I am someone who will do whatever it takes to get ahead. My needs are more important than everyone else's. You see, true failure is failure of character and of virtue. So, what's going on here? Well, I don't believe the issue is that people are evil. I actually have so much hope in humanity. I believe people are inherently good. They're just lost. The statement that best sums this up is Viktor Frankl. Viktor Frankl said, "When men can't find a deeper sense of meaning, they distract themselves with pleasure." And that's what we're seeing play out in our culture. People are just aimlessly chasing money. And you see, when your focus is money, then your goal is more. And you end up running on a hamster wheel, right? Fleeting happiness followed by anxiety and depression. Increased stimulus for decreased satisfaction. Around and around. And if you don't know you're running on a hamster wheel, run faster. Don't wake up at the end of your life with this realization that you wasted the whole thing. And when you're on this hamster wheel, you're moving, but you're not growing, maturing. You're just going around in circles. And this is why we see old businessmen acting like horny teenage boys. Now, the best example of this hamster wheel is Rockefeller. They asked Rockefeller, "How much money is enough?" And he replied, "Just a little bit more." Right? And I'll tell you from a personal standpoint, when I got off this hamster wheel, I was in California, I was running a company, I had the whole weight of the world on my shoulders. You know how crazy life gets. And I just sat on the beach down in Mexico and I just yelled. And I called my friends and I said, "Will you do me a favor?" They said, "What do you need?" And I said, "I want you to take my stuff and I want you to put it into a storage unit. I'm not coming home." And I just bought a motorcycle and rode the coast of Mexico. And I spent the next 3 years of my life with a backpack and a laptop, just traveling the world. And I will tell you that the feeling of getting rid of all the stuff was so much better than the feeling of getting it in the first place. So now let's look at the new model. The new model, first of all, is about making money. Okay, lots of money. We operate from a place of extreme abundance. It's easier to have a big impact if you have big resources. However, we think of money like the gas in your car. You can't get very far without it, but it's not about the gas. It's about the destination, your vision, your purpose. You will never achieve your purpose in money, but in most cases, money is needed to achieve your purpose. We all need to eat. You see, the way off the hamster wheel is to realize the purpose of anything is relative to the whole. It's not about consumption. It's about contribution. It's about love. And the way off this hamster wheel and the way to truly grow is through love. Growth through love. Our name. You see, it's a better model for business management because more than pleasure, people seek purpose. Now, what do I mean when I say purpose? Let me elaborate. Here's the 3 simple steps to achieve your purpose in life. Step 1, perception. shift your perception to align with reality. As the universe unfolds around us, now, quick side note, when I say universe, I'm talking about the natural known universe that we can see and observe. Now, whether that universe was created or not, we respect people from all belief systems, from all cultures. Our mission is to unify people around the core value of love. So we use terminology that everyone can appreciate. We have to stop treating life like it's chaos and random, because there is no purpose in chaos. But the good news is that's not what science and math teaches us. I'm going to look at two data points right now. One is quantum physics and the other is advanced mathematics. So the first one, quantum physics, the Higgs boson field proved that we are all one. Everything is made of atoms, and in between those atoms is a field, an energetic field. So we are all one gigantic energetic field, everything, right? So we're all one. Data point number two, advanced mathematics. Advanced mathematics has proved that there is order in chaos theory. So that means in the kitchen, that faucet that's dripping, right? There's no rhyme or reason to why that's dripping. There is. You see, that's chaos theory. So given a small enough data set, it looks like chaos. But given a large enough data set, there's perfect order. It actually looks like the infinity sign sideways, right? And the same is true for our lives. With a limited perspective, it looks crazy, right? But if you look at the big picture, you can see the order, how one thing led to the next thing. And since you don't know what's going to lead to what, right? Which connections are important, which dominoes lead to which dominoes, all we can do is put our whole heart into everything we touch, knowing that this will lead to the best possible outcome. And our core belief at a micro level is when you operate from a place of love, you will grow. Now, let me be vulnerable with you for a second. My career has been so hard. I've had investors do hostile takeovers. I've had vendors go around my back and steal $1 million clients. I've had partners embezzle money from the company, and the list goes on. And I could have very easily stayed angry about these things and developed a victim mindset. But you see, anytime you put negative pressure on a thought, that thought persists. That's the dysfunction of the mind. And those thoughts that are constantly popping up are pulling you into the past, which is deterring your ability to grow. It's deterring your ability to love. Instead, I decided to grow through love. I put positive pressure on it. I received everything that was happening with love and with gratitude. I put my whole heart into everything I touch. I held nothing back, and I have no regrets, because regrets only come when you half-ass stuff. I could have done better, right? And I accept everything that's happening, because sometimes growth, right? Sometimes growth looks like revenue, and sometimes growth looks like learning, right? And developing character is often more important than developing knowledge, because at the intersection of knowledge and character is wisdom. And sometimes it feels like life is falling apart, but it's actually falling together. You just can't see it yet. If you look at everything as though it has a lesson to teach you, then everything will teach you a lesson. Every closed door catapults you to an open one. I love this Taoist principle of the piano keys. To bang on a piano makes a lot of noise. But removing the keys of that piano will not aid in the creation of music. You see, it is in the highs and the lows that we find the harmony in life. And once you get some years on you, you can start to see the patterns. As the pages turn and we discover chapter after chapter and the rhythm of the day and the night, you can stop resisting the darkness that follows a sunset because you find joy in the anticipation of the sunrise. And the darker the sunset, the brighter the sunrise. It is in the contrast of the colors that we find the beauty in art. Now, I'm not asking you to believe some woo-woo belief system. Rather, I'm just asking you to align your perception with math and science. To summarize, we need to accept. Accept that you are part of a unified universe that is unfolding with infinite order. Step 2, passion. Once you realize that things are not happening randomly, things are unfolding with infinite order, we can build on that understanding. And we can start to appreciate that the interests bubbling up inside of you and the opportunities unfolding around you, this is not random. These are data points that are pointing you towards your purpose. This is the universe trying to give birth to something that is needed, right? Now, you might be thinking, I don't do anything special. I just sell insurance, or I'm an electrician. Don't discredit yourself. That's just imposter syndrome. Harmony and balance requires all kinds of people doing all kinds of things. The key is developing passion. Now, it might start with an interest, something inside of you, or it might start with an opportunity, something outside of you. But when you lean in with a good attitude, you develop passion. Let's look at a couple examples. Started with an opportunity. My dad was a plumber. I tried it and I liked it. And I love the feeling of being able to help people in that way. Or maybe it started with an interest. I love home design. So I decided to become a real estate agent. And I experienced finding someone a home. And I fell in love with helping people in that way. When it comes to purpose, it's not always about doing what you love. It's about loving what you do. Often purpose, it's not about doing something different. It's about doing something differently. Not exchanging your time for money and tuning out at work. Call this quiet quitting, right? It's about putting love into your work. Whatever you're doing, lean in and develop a passion. And few things feel better than passion. So to summarize, we need to align. Align what's happening inside of you, your interests, to what's happening outside of you, opportunities. And lean in with a good attitude and develop a passion, something you love to do. Passion is found when we put love into what we do, inwardly focused. Step 3, purpose. As we explore the nature of things, we're going to look at a few wise people. The first is Marcus Aurelius. Now, Marcus Aurelius describes looking at a flower and look at that flower in its entirety. What makes that flower unique? Right? Look at you in your entirety. What makes you unique? And then step back from that flower and look at the majesty of the universe and think, how does the one relate to the all? Pope Francis, he expands on this thought by saying, the river does not drink its own water. The tree does not eat its own fruit. Living for each other is the rule of nature. And when we look at the harmony in nature, we can see that purpose is not found through selfishness, inward focus, but rather through contribution, outward focus. Think of it like this. There's two levels in life. The first is consumption, where these people are just consuming and they're very focused on themselves. And these people, they really struggle, right? They really struggle to find purpose. And frankly, some people never get out of level one. And the reason they struggle to find purpose is because the purpose of anything is relative to the whole, right? And that's what level two is about. Level two is about focusing on others, about focusing on your contribution, because it's not about consumption, but it's about contribution. That's how we find our purpose. When you look at the flower, what does the leaf do for the flower? What does the flower do for the forest? What does the forest do for the planet? And the last wise person we're going to look at is my mom. I meet with her every day, hoping that some of her wisdom will rub off on me, but man, I'm a work in progress. She says, it's not your responsibility to change the world. It's your responsibility to change your world. Bloom where you are planted. Use the gifts you've been blessed with to be a blessing to others. Wake up each day, drive love into that day, and you can die knowing you fulfilled your purpose. And when looking for purpose, don't get lost in the Google effect, right? Infinite possibilities. It's very overwhelming. Also, don't get lost in the someday narrative. Right now, it's about money. And then at the end, I'll give back, right? Drive love on the journey, not just at some fictitious destination. And when we're trying to find purpose, we need to look closer, right? Look at what's happening in front of you and look at what's happening inside of you. Previously, we talked about aligning something that's happening inside of us, our interests, right, to something happening outside of us, opportunities, and then lean in with a good attitude to develop a passion. And this is something you love to do. And then when we use that passion and allow the love to pass through us into others, we find purpose in contribution, not in consumption. We find purpose in authentic expressions of love. Let me summarize. Act. Purpose is found when we put love into what we do and then use what we do to authentically drive love into the world, outwardly focused. Now, I'm going to illustrate this with a parable. The tale of 3 sandwiches. All right. The first sandwich was made with love. And we've all eaten that sandwich. The second sandwich was not made with love. And we've all eaten that sandwich. Now, Let me tell you about a third sandwich. To get this sandwich, you had to wait in line for an hour to get into that deli that has 30,000 five-star reviews. This sandwich was made by someone whose most authentic expression of love to the world was making that sandwich. The owner passionately sourced every tomato, and his eyes would light up every time he saw someone bite into one of his sandwiches. This is not just love. This is authentic love. This is purpose. And this is what we want to create in your company. Oh, and by the way, this business owner, by leading with love, he's also making a fortune. And the guy who owns that sandwich shop, he just started as a part-time employee, but he leaned in. So to recap, 3 steps to achieve your purpose. Step 1, perception. Accept. Shift your perception to align with reality by accepting that advanced math and science both show us that you are part of a universe that is unified and unfolding with infinite order, not chaos. There's no purpose in chaos. When looking for indicators of purpose, you need to look at reality as though it's happening on purpose. Look at what's happening inside of you, your interests, and what's happening outside of you, opportunities, because these are signs pointing to your purpose. Step 2, passion, align. Align what's happening inside of you, your interests, to what's happening outside of you, opportunities. And then lean in with a good attitude to develop a passion for what you are doing. Passion is found when you put love into what you do, inwardly focus. And few things feel better than passion. Step 3, purpose, act. Purpose is found when you take your passion and use it to authentically drive love into the world, outwardly focused. And our slogan, a purpose-driven approach to business growth. Now you understand. You see, when you're using this business operating system, you're doing more than just getting organized. When you allow yourself to get beyond yourself and start thinking about your contribution, when you put your heart into this system, not just your head, it will do more for you than just help you stay organized. It will guide you in living out your purpose. You see, it's not just a business operating system. It's a belief system. And our customer promise is to bring entrepreneurs from their pain, overwhelm, to their purpose, love. We're going to close by going back to where we started, our mission. Change the culture of the world, or use business to make the world a more loving place. So let's go back to Buckminster Fuller, right? He said, you never change things by fighting the existing reality. To change something, build a new model that makes the existing model obsolete. So we looked at the current business model, right, which was defined by Viktor Frankl. When men can't find a deeper sense of meaning, they distract themselves with pleasure, right? Aimlessly chasing money, right? Increased stimulus for decreased satisfaction, right? Fleeting happiness followed by anxiety and depression, around and around, right? It's very unfulfilling. And then We looked at the new model, a purpose-driven model, a better model, because more than pleasure, people seek purpose. Now, I had the privilege to go see the Dalai Lama a few years ago, and what he taught me helped to inspire what has now become our core belief at a macro level. We can solve the world's problems if we all just stop putting our energy into the things that divide us and instead put our energy into the things that unite us. The primary thing being love. And our vision is that every business operating using our system is a business that is operating in love. And they are a beacon of light and love in the world. And when 155,000 businesses operate using our system, with the assumption that the footprint of the average small business is about 5,000 people, customers, teams, prospects, community, etc., then the total footprint of our love will be about 775 million people, which is about 10% of the world's population of 7.75 billion people. We believe it is at this point we will see not just small change, but real, tangible, noticeable change in the culture of the world. Entrepreneurs have always been the ones to create change in the world, and we believe they are the most equipped to usher in this new era of love. Now, side note, our top competitor has that many clients. This is not an overly ambitious number, but I can't do this alone. We have to do it together. I need your help. I need you to do your part. Operate your business in love. Your business should be a beacon of light and love to everyone it touches. Additionally, tell your friends and spread the word. This is how we create influence without trying to be an influencer, right? We change the culture by driving love harder than they're driving fear. Now, I'm going to close with this thought. When a magician does a trick, he says abracadabra. And when you look at that word, what that word means in Hebrew, abracadabra, it means to speak into existence. So I'm going to close with our purpose statement. Every company closes every meeting with this purpose statement. Purpose is found through authentic expressions of love. And the world changes one person and one decision at a time. So let's go live our purpose because we are the change this world needs.